Hey guys, welcome back to this week's episode of Dungeon Loot. Myself, Vinny Pro, and Dan Isgro here are going to take you this week through the Descent into Avernus module, released by Wizards of the Coast just recently. Little disclaimer up front, I like to say that this module might be a little dark for new players. You are descending into hell, so it might not be a beginning point for new player characters. So, the adventure starts off, it'll bring you from 1st to 13th level, and like I said, it'll bring you into Avernus, where most of the adventure takes place. Would you like to tell us a little bit about how we get there?
Yeah, so in your party, you'll have about 4 to 6 players in your party. You'll start off in the city of Baldur's Gate. Now, you'll be investigating some murders that have taken place in Baldur's Gate, and as a group, that will lead you to a neighboring city of Elturel. And once you arrive in Elturel, some bad things have happened. You've found a giant crater where the city of Elturel used to be. And from there, you'll also find out that Elturel was taken into the first level of hell called Avernus. And as a group, it's your job to descend into hell, into Avernus, to find out what happened to Elturel to keep Baldur's Gate from suffering the same fate.
So once you get down into Avernus, which is the first layer of hell, you're gonna come across a situation called the Blood Wars. The Blood Wars were started aeons ago between demons and devils, and it's a big part of the plot that I really don't want to go into because it gives away a lot of what goes on in the quest. You will find out though that there is a fallen angel that runs Avernus. Not so much of a spoiler, but a good plot hook for most players that really should know what's going on, and DMs. Zariel went initially to Avernus as an angel, and she was corrupted by Avernus. So Avernus has a whole bunch of effects that the DM can use against the players. You can roll for mutations the longer you're there. You can grow a third arm, you could grow eye stalks out of your eyes and become looking like a little bug, or a large bug in this case. But there's a lot of environmental effects that take place within Avernus.
Yeah, so like Vince said before, in the same way Zariel became corrupted, your characters who are playing the quest actually run that same risk. So you could become physically mutated to look more like a demon or more like a devil, and also become morally corrupted the same way Zariel did.
There's a lot of chances for you to become morally corrupted in this campaign. You can actually make deals with devils, and it actually helps you and both hinders you through your quest. You gotta remember, you're gonna be in hell, and you need to survive down there. It's not exactly easy terrain. You're not doing a campaign where you're in a forest and you're just going from town to town. You're going from hellscape to hellscape, and you have to survive against everything and anything that the DM throws against you.
Yeah, so if you make a deal with the devil, you may be able to stack some stats and be able to survive a little bit more handily while you're in hell, but it also means that you're affecting your character and you're affecting your morality while you're there.
You may just end up losing your soul.
So we're in hell. Not only do you have to worry about becoming morally corrupted, but you also have to worry about getting from place to place, because it's rocky terrain, fiery terrain. It's very, very difficult to get from here to there and not get yourself killed. So a really cool thing in this module is that they've developed these enormous, hellish vehicles that you could your entire party can man all at once in order to get around a little more effectively and to defeat your enemies a little more effectively.
Also known as infernal war machines. So the thing with the infernal war machines is where, once again, it comes into corrupting your characters a little bit. To get from place to place using one of these vehicles, you have to use something that's called soul fuel. And to acquire soul fuel, you must use soul coins, which, as you would think, contain the souls of trapped beings from hell.
It's like these things were designed by a devil Batman, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So to use them, you have to first acquire the souls, the soul coins, which are traded as currency within Avernus, and then feed them to your infernal war machine.
But again, I think it feels like it sticks with the theme of you can become more powerful if you'd like to become more powerful while you're in hell, but it's going to cost you.
The part that I love that everybody refers to about these things is that with this campaign is they refer to it as a Mad Max in hell. When you see these actual machines up close in the book, you can see that they're very diabolical looking and very evil.
Very cool. As we said, the quest starts off in a city called Baldur's Gate. In order to get more acquainted with Baldur's Gate and how everything works there's a section in the book called the Baldur's Gate Gazetteer. And in this section, you learn a whole lot about the city. There are plenty of maps, so you know how everything is laid out. You learn about the government, and you basically can learn about the relationships between different figures in the city.
There's also a good piece about the factions within the city and who's opposing who, and why the faction that hired you is there. You also learn about a lot of the civilians and the landmarks, which are great because there's some really notable landmarks within Baldur's Gate. Also, a good piece in the Gazetteer is a section to help you create your character. In there's a whole new section on updating backgrounds specifically for Baldur's Gate characters. There's also new backgrounds in there specifically just for this campaign, one of which is called the Faceless. A lot of good information in there. It gives you access to skill proficiencies such as deception and intimidation, tool proficiencies for disguise kits, an extra language, which is always nice, and it gives you starting equipment such as disguise kits, a costume, a pouch of coins containing 10 gold pieces. Not really overpowering, but it's good enough to get you off the ground. Especially in a city like Baldur's Gate where everybody and their mother's trying to backstab you and steal your money.
Something else that's cool that you could find in the Baldur's Gate Gazetteer is a new spin on the campaign that they've added. It's called Dark Secrets. As a group, you'll come together and agree that as a group you share a dark secret. You'll also roll to see which person in Baldur's Gate knows your dark secret, and that person will be able to kind of manipulate you and hold it against you if they ever choose to do so. And it's your job as a group to make sure nobody finds out about your dark secret. And these can range from anything to a conspiracy, being witness to a murder, or being involved in a theft.
So another piece of useful information inside the book is the pronunciation guide. One thing I hate about modules and dealing with a lot of the stuff within D&D is everything has its own language. I'm not very good to begin with in English, let alone speaking Abyssal or Draconian or something crazy. So in the beginning of the book, there's a pronunciation guide that allows you to properly say the names of the devils and demons that you're going to be coming across, and the different races that are actually new to the campaign that are not inside the monster manual. Another piece that I like is a very good big piece of role-playing for the DM. If he wants to make handouts or notes on maps or stuff for you to find along the campaign, there's a piece called Infernal Script at the back, and it shows the DM how to write in the script of Abyssal. I believe it's Abyssal. Also, Enter the Creatures is a section that was added by Joe Manganiello, who was hired by Wizards of the Coast to add in a small chapter about his character, Archon the Cruel, and he also created 2 NPCs that are, I guess they're Archon's henchmen, I guess you could say, in which they also include very detailed stat blocks and what their reasoning for being in Avernus is.
Along with an entirely new section with new creatures, there's also a section with brand new magical items that you'll encounter while you're in Avernus. They may help you, or they may kill you.
One that may actually help you used to belong to Zariel, but we're not going to go into what the details are in that because that's a very big plot hook.
They've also included a really cool fold-out map of both Avernus and Elturel. It's about 3 feet by 4 feet, and as you can see, it's got a lot of cool detail and some really cool artwork for the hellish landscape of Avernus. Descent into Avernus is a really cool new campaign setting that's got everything you need to run it from soup to nuts. Pick it up anytime at the link below.